Guys, welcome back to part 2 with Let's Sew, and we're still sewing these bags. Okay, so I've ironed all the seams on my main front piece and my lining, squared off the corners at the bottom as you know, we did all that. Now what I want to do is this is the bit where sometimes it takes a little bit to get your head around this, but what we need to do is, on my main piece in front of my bag, we decide where our straps are going. So what we're going to do now is attach the straps and the lining to the bag all at the same time. So once you've grasped this how to do it, then it's easy. There's nothing hard about it, it's just getting your mind around it. Okay, so on this bag I want my straps, I think, let me have a look. Best way to do it is to just look at it. This won't be on the outside, by the way. Like so. So I think I'm going to have them where the end of the strap is the end here of this pattern here. So the outer edge of my strap to the outer edge lines up with the outer edge of my pattern piece going down. Okay, so I'm going to lay it flat, and what you need to do is pin this to the right side of the fabric, but pin the strap upside down. It will all become clear shortly. So we'll pin it here. I'm going to do the outside of my strap running to the edge of the outside of my pattern. So put it up to the very top of your fabric, this way up, look, and down to where your line is. So it's going to be there. So on one side only, this piece only, the front piece, pop a pin in there, just to hold it temporarily. Now, it then has to come up the other side, because it's the same strap that we use for the one strap on the front, one strap on the back. So, because it needs to now come up the other side, we've pinned it down here. We need to make sure it's the right way. So follow it down, and then pin this strap, the end, the same, but on the edge of this fabric. So, at the edge of this line. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll just pin it in place so that you can see. One layer, don't forget, just to the very front piece, like so. So you've got this one running down the edge of this one, and then it running down the edge of this one, and then we'll do the same on the back. So you turn it round and match it up with the other side. So match it up with there, like that, but only pin it to the lining piece. So put your finger inside and separate it. You know that's where it's going, but pin it. This is only temporary measure, and exactly the same at the other. Just make sure you don't get it twisted. So just keep it flat, bring it round, pull it up, level, whoops, with the other one. Finger between, like that, and pin it in position. Okay. So that means that when we stitch that, our handles are going to be on the top and going upwards. Okay, but for this you have to do them pointing downwards as a start. Okay, so now I need my lining piece, and I need to put my bag. You can do it either put the bag in the lining or the lining in the bag, but whichever way you do it is right sides together. So because my bag's the right side out, I shall shove it in the lining. Don't forget we've left the bottom open of the lining. Now you need to match your lining side seam to your bag front side seam at the seam there. Get the seams together, pin one way, or hold one way, one seam one way like that and one seam the other way, so you've got an equal thickness at both sides of where your seam is. Okay, and pop a pin. Now I'm going to put it acrosswise so it holds all those fabrics together like so. So we've got this one going this way, and this will go this way like that. And then do the same at the other side. Make sure those handles are tucked in and are down, so everything's down inside there. I'll do the other seam at the side, the other match up, and then I'll show you what I mean. Oh, that's a pin, a needle even. Across, excuse me. Don't put pins in my mouth, I've got to get out of the habit. I know. For all the safety conscious people tell me, I've done that for 50 years, so it takes a lot of getting out of, but I will try and stop, I promise. So give it a shake. Now they're all inside. The handles are inside between the lining and the bag. You've got your right side of your bag facing the right side of your lining. Everything's lined up. They should more or less match across the top without too much hassle. If one's a little bit bigger than the other bit, just wiggle it about to get it in, or stretch it a little bit. And then I just repin where the pins are for the straps. Take the pin, hold the strap with your thumb, and put the pin through all layers like so, so it holds the strap in place securely. And then just ease your fabric round. If as I say, if it's a little bit out, you might have a little bit of give in it somewhere. Just stretch it a little bit. And just make sure those side seams are lined up, and make sure that your handles are pinned and that they're facing and they're inside. Okay, so what we need to do now is we're going to sew all around the top. We don't need to leave a gap to turn because we've left that at the bottom. So I shall show you that in a second. Might have to change my spool, I'm not sure, or fillet. So let's go. I'm doing I'll do 15mm again, which is near enough 5/8 of an inch seam. I tend to use whichever seam allowance when I'm doing something like this, where it's not both dogs are on my presser foot now, on my pedal. Where it's not an item of clothing, I tend to use either 15mm or 5/8 of an inch, whichever, doesn't really matter. When I'm doing dressmaking, I'm a bit more cautious about seam allowances. But when it's something that I've just made up ad hoc out of my head, I don't really bother. Now when it comes to where the handles are, it's quite thick, so make sure you hold it down, go over nice and steady. You can always go around it again if you want to, but we'll just whiz round it, see how far we get, and what it I might actually do over it again, because it's going to be holding some weight if it's got milk and whatever inside, isn't it? So, but what I will say is you do go around it again on the outside when we've turned it round, so just bear with it a fraction. So let's see. I'm not going to put a canvas, like a plastic canvas base in this one. It's going to be just a normal shopping bag to fold up and put in your handbag or whatever, as you said at the beginning. So it's fairly straightforward. You could probably run one of these up within half an hour or an hour. Depends how. The first time you've done it, it'll take longer. But once you've done one, and you know how it is, and you know how the handles are and everything else, it'll not take you long to run these up. And why pay $1.50 per bag from the supermarket or whatever that they're charging on some of these fabric ones? You can even use no pillowcase and just use that and get a strap from something, make a strap out of some old dress or whatever you want to do, or even if you've got two pillowcases matching, just make a strap out of the other pillowcase. There's no real hard and fast rule with it. It's up to you. It's your bag. It's your design. You're making it, and you can do it any size. You don't have to do the size that I've said I've done on here. You can do whatever size you want to. Whatever it's for. I mean, you could make, rather than do a 2-inch cut off here, you could do 4-inch, so it'd make it wider. So it'd be more like a weekend hold-all thing. It's entirely up to you. It's your project. Okay, so, right. So it's all stitched round the top. All that's held together. Just make sure both sides you've caught all your fabric in. Sometimes it can slip and slide around. That's fine. Now what we need to do is to pull the bag through the bottom of the lining. This is where the magic happens. So we'll pull it through like so. Give it a shake and push your corners and things out. And then tuck your lining in to the bag, like so. So you pull it through, then you tuck that back inside, pull the handles out, give it a shake, pull your handles up like so, and give it a press. Now you could just get these all out. I want this seam where they match to be at the very top. You could, if you wanted, leave it like that. Not with the hole in the bottom, obviously. Or before, you don't have to top stitch round, but it will add strength to your strap and it will make the top edge nice and neat. So the easiest way to get, I would press this normally, but I'll just finger press it at the minute. The easiest way to get your seam slap bang in the middle of your fabric is to damp your finger and roll the edge of your fabrics together. That pushes up both edges of the fabric, pushes up the seam in the middle, the stitch line, so you've got a nice neat edge. Okay, so you can do it like that. You can just press it if you don't want to be as precise. I tend to do that and then just give it, oh, I'm doing it again, aren't I? Got pins stuck to my elbow. They're all dropping on the floor. Excuse me. Just let's have a look. Put a couple of pins in. Roll it. I would pull your straps and put a pin there, and I would pull your seam where the front and back join and put a pin there. Whoop! Don't drop it on the floor. Pull your seam, make sure that's right at the top, pop a pin. So if you're making these for presses and things, I would pin them, do this, press it, pin it all the way around, get your fabric right up there, pin it round, and then do top stitch. So we're going to top stitch round, pin in that bit. It's very clever how it pulls your straps, and we can line it and put your straps in and everything in one go. So that's why I like it, 'cause it's an easy way to do it and a quick way. Okay, right, so now we need to make sure the straps are out of the way. We're going to go around the top edge here, which will go over these seam where the straps are sewing, and it'll strengthen that a little bit as well. And I'm just going to use top stitch. You can use a fancy stitch, or you can use a different thread. There are some specific top stitch threads, but for this purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to use the thread that's in there. Whoops! Pressing on the dog's leg won't make the machine work, will it? Anyway, right, let's go. So I'm starting with where the side seam is. So my stitch is my reversing stitches are hidden as much as they can be, and I'm just keeping the edge of my presser foot on the edge of the fabric while I go around. Pull the strap up then, so over it. My pin out. Just go a bit slow over your straps, your handles, because we've got quite a lot of thickness there. So I'm just stitching around the top, and it'll hold all that in place where it should be. Steady over where the straps are, because there's a lot of bulk. Oh, the handle. Oh, keep saying straps, won't I? All the way around. You could do fancy stitches around if you wanted to. This machine does little like tulips or dogs, or it'd be nice with the dog's top stitch round, with it being a dog pattern on the front, but I'm just keeping it nice and plain stitch for this one. You do on the machines that do automatic embroidery stitches like that, or different stitches, it's brilliant. You can just let it do its thing, put your foot on the pedal and go. Takes all the hard work out of it. When you're buying a machine, always buy something that you can grow into. You might not think you'll use stitches like that when you first start, but they're nice to have. Because at a later date, when you want to do fancy things like that, whether it's on cushions or whatever, you've got them all built in. That's stitched into there. Reverse stitch. And finish off in the middle. Right, so snip your threads. Let the threads off at the beginning. So all those go onto the inside somehow. Right, like so. And give it a shake, pull your hands up. And that basically wants now a press everywhere. But before, you need to pull your lining back out, and where the hole is, where we pulled everything through, if you're going to put the plastic canvas in, you just cut it to size. So you cut it the width of that and then the length of that, pop it inside here so the corners of the fabric are in there, a couple of stitches on there each side, pop it back through, excuse the aeroplane going over, pop your canvas inside, and then just stitch this access hole up. So the easiest way to do this is to just get a hold of both sides of the bag, pull the fabric, and it pulls that seam where it needs to be sewn. And then if you get hold of each corner or edge where the seam, we left it open where it finished, just stitch straight across there to close it. Bear with me a moment. Stitch straight over. Stitch across the whole of the bottom if you like, but there's really no need to do that. I'm just stitching that hole closed. And then your threads. Tuck the tuck the inside back in, like so. Give it a shake, and there's your shopping bag. Again, I'm going to put some buttons or something on here, or some ribbon or something. But that's your bag, and it just wants pressing before you gift it on all nice and flat. And then when you fold it, I tend to get the corners at the bottom, come out, that's it, pull them, tuck them in so it like makes a gusset, like so. Make that nice and flat, fold, 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 and then tuck your handles round it, put a ribbon round it or some paper and a ribbon, and that's your one idea for a Christmas box. Okay, you could do a purse or a coupon wallet to go with it if you're someone that uses coupons. I know America's big with the coupons, it's not as big in the UK, but you could put a coupon wallet with it that would hang around the strap. You can put a clip for a face mask round here, to do some clips for babies, what you can hang little blankets on and things on the pushchairs. You could hang one of those round here and put a face mask on there. You could put attach a hand sanitizer that's on one of those clips, like a lobster claw clasp thing. You could fasten one of those on front as a Christmas gift with it. You can make a mask to match in the red polka dot or in grey polka dot or whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you, but that's nice as a prezi. You could do little gifts inside and wrap the whole thing, wrap them up individually, pop them inside, and then wrap the bag like that. Pop your handles inside and then wrap that, so all your little stocking fillers are inside, and then wrap that as it is, or fold the top over. You could do a fold over top one, put a button on or a zip across the back, and then the opportunities are endless with it. If you did that and put a zip over, what you'd need to do is to put your straps here. You'd have one long strap probably here, and then over like so, and then you zip across the top. So that's how you would do that one, but that'll suit one of my friends or family very well indeed. I'm sure they'll be quite happy with it, especially one that shops a lot. Okay, thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't, please. Please tell your friends. And as I said before, any questions, drop them in the comments box below. Thanks, and I hope you'll join me again soon, and I will see you on the next project. All right, my loves. Bye-bye.